Live starting. What up, everybody? It's going to be a very special episode of Cage Side Live because Gino's going to be talking to you by himself because I have disowned him for saying negative things about Sami Zayn. I haven't even read his recap, but somebody told me he said negative stuff, and so being a true user of the internet that I am damning him for that on third-person evidence, and I'm not speaking to him anymore.
I
am giving him control of the show, even though he lost at WrestleMania.
I fear we run the risk of complaining too much about our fan base, even if you could call it a fan base, on this show or people who read the site. But I don't give a shit because I'm going to do it again. I write the recap to Raw. Glowing praise for everything WWE did on this show. I mean, I gave it an A, a real grade. Praise me. I bothered to actually give it a real grade.
The return of real grades.
Right? So, and I say so many good, nice things. These motherfuckers read the recap. It is as though it's fucking 2,000 words and they're like, there's a couple bad words in here. We're going to find them. Sure enough, there's a line in there that Sami Zayn is, in fact, one of the blandest characters in WWE right now. It's a true statement. That is true. Point of fact, fight me. Please don't fight me. So I said, and that it causes this big uproar and it turns into someone told you to fire me. And then called me a Mark. My name's Gino. My name's not Mark.
You are smart, though.
It's just dumb, And Sean, to you and to everyone else, I guess this is what I would say to that. I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a good guy. I'm Bill Nye the Science Guy.
I saw you get some hashtag engagement with that tweet.
Dude. I'm so happy Roman Reigns said that because it's endless fodder for just good tweets that are killing people. I got one last week, and this week I did it again. I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a good guy. I'm a shy guy, and a picture of the fucking Mario character. And this week I'm like, I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a good guy. I'm a shy guy on stilts. For all you Yoshi's Island fans out there, Sean doesn't know what I'm talking about, even though he should, because those were the systems when you were like 30 when those came out.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's what a phenomenal, and he keeps using it. Is what's great. He found one good line, and he's like, I'm never gonna stop saying it. Finally, something that I can get over with.
It's gonna be a shirt too. It's just a matter of time. They're probably releasing it now while I speak.
I should probably try to get our guys to green light. Or I should try to get our guys to make up a shirt for it. Not a bad guy. Not
Bill
a good
Nye.
guy. I'm Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill.
Do you have to get Bill's? You'd have to get Bill's permission for that, though, wouldn't you?
Bill Nye?
Yeah.
I don't care what he says.
I think he's like a government official.
Why are we talking about Bill Nye?
I don't know.
Cage Side Live, everybody. Let's talk about Raw.
Okay.
It was a good show.
I liked it. What I saw of it.
It's pretty cool. How you been, man?
I'm all right. You?
I'm doing well.
Cool.
Right on. Good talk.
Sweet. Let's go.
Let's do this.
No, I mean, let's go. Let's leave.
Oh, perfect. I'm out.
Nice.
Week 2 of Shane McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. McMahon.
Who is in charge because of hashtag engagement.
It's so funny, what's the rumor, I guess, but the ratings for Raw after Mania were such garbage that they were originally going to say, ratings shot through the roof. We got to use him. And then they didn't shoot through the roof. And they're like, well, what do we do? A lot of tweets about him. So many tweets about Shane McMahon. Which, you know what, it's funny, though, because like I told you, he's great for us.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he takes a shit today so I can write about it. And I guarantee it'll be our top 5 within 10 minutes of it being posted.
I hope they never announce that he's in charge and he just stays in charge for like 4 years. So every Monday We can do a morning post that says, "Will Shane run the show tonight?" And then in the afternoon we can say, "Shane running the show tonight." And then in the evening we can say, "Shane ran the show tonight." And it'll be the top 3 posts.
Just come up with new and interesting reasons for him to be running the show. Vince has a cold. Shane's running the show.
Somebody liked his shoes. Shane's in charge.
Vince sneezed. He's devastated. Shane's running the show.
No, don't say that about Vince. Don't you put that on him.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Shane,
it feels like there's nothing to say about the show. Is what's funny. There's so much that happened, but it feels like there's nothing to say. I'm not strong in any direction here, so you take it wherever you want. Other than Sammy's bland.
You want to just talk about Sammy?
Or do we have to like?
No, because I do think it's. I'm not going to slam you for this because I do think it's just your opinion.
Sure.
That's just like your opinion, man. Right. But there's definitely a pattern with like the guys that you find to be like boring, and there's 2 things. There's 2 things that I noticed. One is that I do think that a lot of us internet smarks type people are engaged with a lot of the people that you find boring because we know their backstory. So it's a whole reality era. It's not just the character. We're rooting for them not because of what's on screen, whereas you are rooting for them or not rooting for them based on what's on screen. So that's not that you're a casual fan. It's just that you're a main roster WWE fan. It's like you're somebody who doesn't follow college football. You only follow the NFL for an analogy. So you don't have the backstory that a lot of us bring with it, which is good to know because, we get blinded by it. I know. I mean, I was joking around, but I take Sami Zayn shit very personally. I'm a fucking mark for the guy and don't say bad stuff and I'll get mad and pout. But that's not realistic. That's just my subjective stuff.
Yes.
The other thing is that I don't know. I don't know about you, man. You just don't. I feel like there is a decent like underdog babyface story there that it just doesn't work on you.
Oh, you're looking at it from the wrong angle. You keep saying the word story. I didn't say anything about a story. I said he is a bland character. He needs a good story. You kept talking about the story around him. That's great. It's fantastic. I do know of his story. I know of the Owen story and all that stuff, and I watched the matches in NXT with the takeover stuff. Great. Maybe I didn't watch every week to follow along for that ride, but I watched almost all of the lead up to the Owen stuff. And I know much of the background, the El Generico stuff, whatever, how long it took him to get there, and then how long it took him, 3 years to get to the main roster? That's story. That's not the character. That's story. The story is great. He needs that story because the character himself, Sami Zayn, who he is bland. There's not much to him. That's not an insult. It's not like I'm not saying he's bad.
I'm not saying you are. I don't.
So the same thing.
Also, are you saying? Well, here's what I'm confused by. Are you saying the character, which, as we know, it is an underdog with a big heart, right? Is that bland to you, or are you saying the performer is bland to you? That's where I'm confused. It's a mixture of both.
It's a mixture of both because it's just a dude who doesn't necessarily have a big personality. And again, this is relative to everyone else on the roster. It's within WWE, contained within that world. If you were ranking characters based on how bland they are versus how the opposite even. I mean, if you put him across Kevin Owens, it's not even a contest. It's embarrassing.
But it's a totally different kind of character.
Sure. His character is what?
That's what I'm saying. His character is he's an everyman underdog who won't give up in a fight, which is you love in certain guys, you just don't love in him. That's why I don't.
That's why I'm the guys that I love it in.
That you had an orgasm when Dean Ambrose was playing that character.
Okay, there's a huge difference.
Well, but it's the same character.
And no, it's not. Ambrose, it's not the same because Ambrose is the dude who's been slapped down and knocked down. Zayn is the guy who, well, he just doesn't kind of fit the role, so whatever. Ambrose has been like, I've been destroyed. My life has been destroyed, and I can relate to that in so many ways. I don't have any, and they make me relate to that. I have no way to relate to Sami Zayn. He's just sort of a dude who's there who wrestles.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. They've done some of that with Dean Ambrose, but you've built that backstory more than they have.
Maybe. It's also easy.
Why you
That's the thing, though. That's a good point. It's easy to do that because of how interesting Dean Ambrose is as a person. There's none of that with Sami Zayn.
It's easy for you to do that because you relate to that character. It's not
But it's also the guy himself. Like, if you put me in a room with Sami Zayn and you put me in a room with Dean Ambrose, there's a certain quality that you get with a guy like Dean, with the way he looks, the way he moves, the way he interacts with the world around him, that does not exist with Sami Zayn. That's what I'm talking about.
For you. I do not have that. I think Dean Ambrose is sort of a weirdo, and I'm not that drawn to him. Yeah, we can disagree. I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I'm just saying.
No, right.
I mean, I'm just saying that I think that it's totally subjective, and I think it's dangerous.
I agree with that.
I wouldn't say dangerous. I don't know. I think it's important to be clear that that it is just subjective. That it's not that like this guy sucks.
My word's not bond. He's great, and that's what I said.
Well, I think that's why our readers get so upset sometimes. I think is they don't realize that we're coming from that place too. So.
Which is why it was funny. The guy called me a mark. In this scenario, you're the one being the mark, my friend.
99% of the time, if you use mark as an insult at somebody, it's because you are a mark.
It's because you're being one. You're in the midst of being one by saying that.
Yeah.
Again, not necessarily a bad thing, but like not if it's in earnest.
Yeah, I mean, I know when I'm being a mark, and I'm a mark about Sammy. That's what this conversation is about for me too. Is trying to discern the difference between me being a mark for the guy and my like objective analysis of his potential or talents. Or those.
I'll use Rock. I'll use The Rock.
Oh God!
You could put The Rock in any story; he'll make it interesting. You couldn't do that with Sami Zayn. He has to have the right story to be an interesting character. The Rock on his own is an interesting character. Whether I hate what he says, whether I disagree with how he goes about it, there's no denying that he is a incredibly interesting, fascinating character who you're drawn to, and it doesn't matter the story that surrounds that because the character is strong enough to carry it. It's the opposite with Zayn because he's just a bland guy. He looks just like everybody else. I mean, there's nothing that stands out about him. There's nothing that's particularly special about the initial presentation of him. Now, that doesn't say he's not a fantastic wrestler. He is, and that's what I actually said in the post. AJ Styles and Sami Zayn, relative to the rest of the roster, are incredibly bland as characters. What is there to them? And as soon as I say that, everybody goes, well, they're underdogs and they have this story. So we're not talking about the story. We're talking about the character on his own. And, I mean, you could say that about, let's say, who's a good example of someone who people would think is a bland character but is actually not? He's actually pretty diverse. Big Show. You hear people say he's kind of a bland character. That's bullshit. That dude is really fucking good at what he does, actually. He's got range. Does Sami Zayn?
You don't. I mean, how do you know that though? I mean, that's where I think it's a little weird. You're comparing him to two Hall of Famers with 30-year track records, and you've been watching him for a year and a half. I don't think that's an apples to apples comparison. You don't know. I mean, Sami hasn't been asked to do any story other than underdog.
Okay.
So how do you? I mean, I think a good comp is somebody that plays the exact same type of character, but who engages you immediately. Would be Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
I mean, I think people latched on to Bryan early
also
on.
A little bland.
Well, see, but I think that's where we get to your preference because there's a lot of people that love those characters and don't find them bland. There's a whole class of. I mean, just going back to the tag discussion about Takeover, both of those teams have big fans, and you find them both just milk toast. You're not interested.
Well, God,
I'm not saying that you're wrong for it. It's just that you have a type, so to speak. And these guys are not your type.
He's like a short, vegan, earthy guy. It's just, I guess you're right. Maybe to me it's bland. Maybe I'm a little bit more on the extreme end of the spectrum where guys like Ambrose, to me, are the interesting guys. It seems like there's so much more depth there. Or it seems that way you get there via something other than just a dude who, it's easy to enjoy them. And how much too do you separate those two things between you like the guy, and because you like the guy, it colors your perception of it.
It's true, but I mean, for me, I have a harder time doing that with Sammy or Daniel or Brian, whatever the fuck his name is now or was, than like Dean, because I do like Dean the person. I think Dean is fascinating. I don't think Dean Ambrose the character is very interesting.
The only good episode of Ride Along, I watched every episode. The only good episode was with Dean.
I wish that they would bring more of Dean the person into Dean the character, because I'm bored to tears, especially now that ever since he brought a little red wagon to Raw, he's back to being a goofball.
I think they think that's what last night was.
He was still being goofy to me last night.
I know, but I think they think that's bringing the Dean Ambrose person into that, because he kind of is that way. If you speaking of Ride Along, if you watch that, that's kind of like how he, at least for that show. I mean, they know they're being filmed. I don't know how much they're putting on, but and then you see him on Total Divas. He kind of does seem a bit like that kind of dude. The dude who's just sort of a goofy, like takes a serious situation and kind of turns it on its head, but then gets at the drop of a hat is ready to throw down kind of thing. I actually thought last night was good. As far as that, I guess we'll segue into talking about that segment. I thought that was good because props to your boy Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
He's gotten back to that heel, annoying little fuck. I don't want to just see him beat. I want him humiliated. Like, I want someone to, like, really make him, like, regret his life choices. And I felt like that's a little bit of what Dean was doing, Like, it wasn't so much like, oh, Dean's acting wacky, this is whatever, this sucks. It was more like Jericho's getting really pissed off at how Dean's reacting to him. And that's a good thing, because I want Jericho to get pissed off and be uncomfortable. So maybe it was like, and again, too, like, a show like this, what I thought was really good, and there was stuff that didn't make sense to me as far as how they got there, but then I was like, you know what, though, if the actual show itself, if you just take it for what it is, this is really good shit. At what level do we need to stop with, I feel like it's not right that they're putting Dean into these scenarios, making him do the comedy. I don't think it's good for the character. Like, when we got to stop that shit sometimes, man, because it really fucks our enjoyment.
All right, everybody write this down, because in 2 weeks, when Gino's playing the character he just made fun of, we'll all know.
No, and I'll do that. I'll do that and make fun of me, call me out for it for sure, because I know I'll do that, but maybe it's because I felt like there were so many good things, and as soon as a thing happened that made people do that, it was like, no, everything's going so good, please don't do that and fuck it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it ruined the character. Like I said, it's just, and I don't dislike Dean Ambrose. This is not me saying, I don't think he just doesn't do much for me as a character. That's all. I mean, so I like the guy. When they're telling the right story with him, when I was in his court on his side 100% at Roadblock, whatever the fuck that was called. But when he's just sort of bouncing around doing this sort of like Chevy Chase, I'm a smart ass thing, I don't know, it doesn't do much for me. But I can look at that in the course of the bigger show and just go, there were some things I liked about that segment, some things I didn't. It wasn't my favorite, but I'm not going to like shit all over it and say it ruined the show or it ruined his character.
You don't like the Ambrose Asylum?
I mean, I think he's more interesting when they are giving us that guy that's, been betrayed and is out to prove some things, and less this guy that bounces around and steals hot dog carts and stuff. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't love him as the comedy type character. He's okay at it. It's not a bad role for him. And it's a long haul, so he's going to play different characters at different points. But I don't know. Did we ever get like his statement on why he's okay with the fact that now he lost to Brock Lesnar?
No.
I would like something like that. I mean, I trust that he could come up with a good promo and a good reason for it, that we could have a transition other than just he disappeared for a night and came back as fun-loving Dean again.
Well, he came back and beat up Tyler Breeze.
Right.
Good old TB.
Mm-hmm.
And then
had a stare down with Jericho.
And then they just went right into it. Yeah, it gets into the thing where nothing matters.
Yeah.
I mean, that's no, like, I was going to die for this, and then you did, but tomorrow's a new day. No, I mean, it really shouldn't be.
I mean, he could even just say, I don't know, he can just say that. He could come out and say, I wanted to prove I could go with Brock Lesnar, and I could go with him, but I couldn't take him down, and so I'm gonna refocus. And I don't know, it's just cheesy.
Can you imagine if life was like that? Like in WWE land, it would be as though Julie left you. She came home tonight from work, packed all her shit, and just left and said, "I hate your fucking guts. I don't ever want to see you again." In WWE land, you'd wake up tomorrow totally fucking fine. There'd be no problem. You would be the same Sean you were today, right now in this moment. It's fucking maddening because, again, I think we know it's not. obviously it's not real. We get that. But we want to connect to real world things. Like we want to connect to things that we can, again, relate to in some way. I can't relate to having no consequences to any of my actions.
Right.
Everything I do, something happens because of it, and I deal with that as it happens. Or, if I call someone a name, their feelings are hurt, and then they're upset at me, and I have to deal with that. I don't get to just wake up tomorrow and everything's fucking cool. So it's just that kind of stuff sucks, and I agree with that. But yeah, I was entertained by the potted plant and.
Oh, I thought, yeah. I mean,
Don't boo my guests.
The scarf line was great, and somebody needs to call him out on that scarf. That's perfectly. I mean, that's perfect, and
that's perfectly.
It's perfectly. So yeah, I mean, and I want to see this feud. I think it's going to be good for both guys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. WWE tells us they're in the storytelling business, and then they ignore basic storytelling thing. I mean, and I don't want to hold up Lucha Underground as like this big example, but it is. I mean, everything's connected. There was that one little scene last week where Famous B gives Mascarita Sagrada his card, and then he walks away past other people doing stuff. Yeah. It makes it feel like one story where shit matters and people interact with each other, and the WWE is just like people are doing things that don't affect other people and they don't have consequences.
It's not all the same world.
Right. It's very weird, and
like they're on different planets.
It wouldn't be hard to be better. I mean, that's one of the things the last couple of weeks of Raw has shown us is that they've taken some real strides to be better. They've put some different people in different roles. They've had actual finishes to matches. Those are little changes that have made a huge difference. So a few more little changes that would be great, and maybe we wouldn't have anything to nitpick, but for now.
They constantly show these backstage segments, and no one ever runs into anyone else.
Right.
Doing something and they don't even have to interact.
But Dr. Phil knows exactly where the flares are.
Dr. Phil, okay, his dome piece, well, that's impressive.
He owns that thing, though. You got to give him props for that. I mean,
he's not ashamed of it anyway.
No comb overs, no toupees, no haircut for men.
I appreciate that. He feels like the kind of man, I think he'd wear a bathing suit and he wouldn't give a damn about it.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't wear a singlet just to get in the role,
I got to give it up to WWE. I watched this show and was like, man, I really hope Dr. Phil kicks the shit out of Ric Flair. This company actually made me want an old-ass man to beat down a fellow old-ass man, which they hadn't done with Shane and Undertaker. This is what I mean. I'm the biggest hypocrite wrestling fan. My standards are so out of whack.
We all are, and that's the thing. It's like we're willing to forgive certain people in certain stories a lot more than we are others, and those vary by who's talking about it. So it's just,
you know what I think Dr. Phil did though? It's kind of funny. Ric Flair is the main focus of the women's division right now. That's kind of shitty. The whole focus of the women's division's a guy, and I would agree. I think they actually took a big step toward changing that, because what Dr. Phil did in one promo, was put the focus not on that Rick's cheating, but that Charlotte's allowing it.
Yep. That's
a very big shift in how everything's presented. And they'd probably argue that was always the case, but they didn't bring it across that way. In this segment, one little backstage bit with Dr. Phil. I'll be damned if they didn't use him about as well as they possibly could have.
I mean, that's what Dr. Phil is in my. He shot to the top of my guest star ratings because he didn't act embarrassed to be there. He nailed the fucking promo. It fit with his character. He was on brand, and the show was on brand, and I think it did. And I'm withholding judgment because they need to. I think we talked about this last week in one of our 8,000 hours of podcasting. The payoff has to be that at some point somebody smacks down Rick, and maybe it needs to be Charlotte. That they have to do that though, because they did. They moved that story forward last night with Dr. Phil's segment, but it's got to go somewhere. Rick's got to be getting his at some point.
Yeah, and then as weird as it was, he sits ringside. They do the match with the just outstanding finish. And Charlotte is devastated that she thinks she lost the title because she taps. The bell rings. Turns out it's because Rick did the thing with the ref or whatever. And she's got that, I'm going to find a GIF and post it. She's got that devastated, covering her eyes. they announce the DQ, and then she's like, it shoots up, and she's like suddenly happy again, like, oh shit, sweet, I'm still champ, and is totally okay with it. And then they cut to Dr. Phil, and once you get past how fucking weird it is, that Byron Saxton's like, I'm so sorry that you had to watch Charlotte win like that. All the best to you and your family. Like, he's like personally devastated by this development. It was actually really good. And Dr. Phil's like, I'm disappointed that this is how she chose to react to this situation. And having talked to her, knowing the situation could come up, and I hoped that my talking to her would spur her into action. It didn't. Something's going to have to change. It's coming to a head, is essentially what they set up here. Mm-hmm. Good storytelling. Really well done.
Yep.
And I hate Charlotte's guts. And I hate Ric Flair's guts in the best way possible. And the finish, first of all, you can do that finish with a character like Natalya, because she doesn't really mean anything to the main thing. Which, and how funny was it? She's like raising her hands and celebrating, even though it's a DQ. She is just a dolt on Total Divas on this show. I love Maddie, but she's a dolt.
I don't watch Total Divas, but she is.
Total Divas makes her look like the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived. Like,
but she likes cats, so she's okay in my book. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but it's really bad. Total Bellas, I guess now.
I guess, yeah. How about that?
Yeah, how about it?
Who cares?
Not me, because I don't, I don't watch that show. I claim to, and I never do. I don't even watch this show. I don't know how I talk about it. I just read recaps before we get on here.
Well, Raw, you read your own recap? How do you write your own recap, then? That's something.
I've been bullshitting my way through that for years.
Wow. True. Wow.
That's why I get so mad when people call me out. Sammy is bland. What are you guys talking about? I've never seen Sami Zayn.
I don't even know who that is.
Who the hell is Sami Zayn?
That name sounds made up. Are you sure that's his name?
I'm pretty sure you made that name up. That's totally not his real name. I feel he looks like an L to me. An L Generico. That's what I think.
Oh, I thought he actually looked like the letter L. I was confused.
You're like, that joke. He's in Mexico.
I hate that fucking
Sean hates that fucking joke.
I do that, and people trying to name my podcasts, and
I thought that was a good name too.
It was. That's why I was really mad, because I probably would have named it that if it hadn't been suggested like that.
What was it? I can't remember what it was now.
It's Lit Fam edition.
Oh, it's the It Lit.
It's hard to say. It's the It.
It's the Lit Fam edition of KHL. It's like, so say Sean gets mad, man. You can't name his podcast.
And we hurt Bill's feelings, apparently.
He thinks we're making fun of him, which we totally are. It's too bad that he knows that.
You don't think he bought it when I said it was homage?
Yeah, we're paying homage to you, Bill. We're really not. You're fucking, yeah.
Well, it was Lit Fam, so, you know.
So lit, fam.
So lit. So are you worried? So while we're on the women's division, are you worried about the fact that Becky could only get time on the Fallout show and Sasha's disappeared from the earth?
Did you watch that promo?
Yeah.
She said I stole her opportunity. Listen, I'm not the one who steals things. That's called goddamn. This is a feud right here. That's lit, fam.
That is lit.
That is lit, fam. And it's like
straight fire.
Straight fire. I love Becky so much. You know what I saw Biden say in the threads? Bailey's not a good promo.
Somebody burn him at the stake. Get him.
Get him.
Come on, everybody. Let's get him.
He's not wrong.
Shut up.
She's not, dude. Let's be real.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
You're wrong. You've always been wrong.
You're still wrong.
There's never been a time I've been right.
I would not say she's a great promo. I don't think she's a bad promo. That's all. That's my hot take.
What's funny is like what is a good promo? What makes one a good promo? Why do we use it as I don't know. What's the
I mean, there's a couple. I mean, there's two different kinds of good promos to me. There's the like Enzo kind. How you doing? And then there's
I don't know how he does that. He'll just say it right at the end of anything else he says.
Well, that's
really,
the way,
really low.
When he does it, like when he did it after the "I'm here because my mom and dad did it."
Yeah.
That's when he does the quick under his breath one. Those are my favorite.
And then like turns his head. How you doing?
How you doing? He also did a whole he did an intro to that thing too, where he was doing the shit with his lips. Like he's going.
He's a fucking character, dude.
He is a nut job. I love him.
He's been hanging out with Jim.
He's been hanging out with The Weeknd.
He's been hanging out with Jim Neidhart a little too much.
Oh, I thought he also has been hanging out with The Weeknd.
Who's that?
The hip hop, The Weeknd, but he doesn't use an E in it, so I just call him The Weeknd.
Oh, the hair.
Yeah, he's friends with Drake. Yeah, that guy.
Who's Drake?
I
don't listen to music.
He used to be on Degrassi. He was in a wheelchair.
Did he really?
Yeah. You never seen Wheelchair Jimmy?
I don't watch Degrassi.
I don't either, but it's a meme.
Oh.
Now that you're on Instagram, you need to know about these things.
Not me. I'm not on Instagram.
I ain't going on there.
Cage says it. Yes, you are. Trying to Bill do it is what it is. That's I'm like, go nuts, everybody. Somehow we have like 100 followers. I'm like, what the fuck are we gonna put here? I don't know how to use Instagram.
It's because you're not a good guy.
I'm not a bad guy.
You're the Instagram guy.
I'm an Instagram guy.
You're an Instagram guy.
Not a good guy. Not a bad guy. I'm the pizza guy. That'll be 18. I came up with so many in my head, but I was like, it's not the right time to tweet it. I'll get to it later and then forget about it. God damn it.
Plus, we can make a new shirt out of it, too.
We probably should.
The front could say, I'm not the good guy, I'm not a bad guy, and the back can be just a list of different kinds of guys you are.
Bill Nye. The pizza
we don't
guy.
do backs, though. We don't do shit on the back, though.
A shy guy. But that time you'd have to, though.
True. I still want to do a shirt that just has cage side seats on the front and then a piece of shit on the back. Like no words. Or you could just say shit.
An actual turd.
An actual turd on the back.
Human excrement.
Mm-hmm. Or it could be dog excrement. I'm not picky.
Cat excrement would fit better.
That's true. Little pile of cat poo.
You know, we talked about...
I don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Little pile of cat poo. How you doing?
How you doing? We were talking about good promos, and okay, so one kind of good promo is Enzo. Another kind of good promo is Cena does him well, or Daniel Bryan could do him his retirement promo, which was still a promo, even though it was from the heart.
Not a good promo.
He could be. I'm saying when you tell the story and you take people on that journey. So there's like there's the pop, insult, comedy promo, and then there's the storytelling promo. Cena does them well. Cena can make the most fucked up story in the world sound like you might believe it. You might hate the story, but he tells it well.
So that's a good promo versus he is a good promo.
Well, I think one of the reasons why Cena's on top is because he can do both kinds of promos. He doesn't. His funny ones don't work for us anymore, but they still work for some people.
So Rock.
Yeah. But The Rock doesn't really do the storytelling ones anymore. But like during the Cena feud, when he turned it on and was like, here's why I hate that guy, that was a great promo.
All Rock does is storytelling stuff.
But it's mostly comedy storytelling now is what I mean, though.
Sure,
it's fun.
Sure.
It's anecdotes. I mean, it's just
not like exposition.
It's like a spoken word performance with Dwayne Johnson now.
Right.
It used to be.
He's a fancy actor.
He is a fancy actor.
He's a big fancy actor.
Mm-hmm. He was on the MTV Music Awards in a Superman costume, and I could see some peen.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
How is it?
I think it's kind of small. I think there's been a lot of.
Is it veiny? Turtleneck. Helmet.
Why are those the two adjectives you decided to throw out?
I watched Horrible Bosses 2 last night.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I heard it was
on in the background. It's a great movie. Jennifer Aniston's a sex addict in it. The dude got into he thought it was an AA meeting. It was a sex addicts meeting, and he's talking about, I was chugging 1, 2 at a time, and she thought he was talking about cock. Oh, let's talk about the unit, she says. Love calling a cock a unit. How do we always end up talking about that? I don't
know.
How does that happen?
Peen watch.
Are you secretly gay?
No, it's not a secret.
Am I secretly gay?
Maybe.
I might be.
I don't know. Don't tell my wife though. Jeez.
I was gonna say, I guess I have to break up with my girlfriend now.
Well, or just see if she's into that.
She might be okay with it.
See. All right.
Sami Zayn.
No, we're done. I'm done talking about
because
Sami.
we didn't talk about Styles.
Oh well, Styles beat him.
About the match.
It was good.
Yeah. That's another good running joke we have, the acquiring of some. Mm-hmm. They don't want none, and then it's like, I do not wish to acquire any. That's what Sammy, you lost. Can you tell us what went wrong? I acquired too much.
He did. He got a phenomenal forearm.
I am unmotivated to talk about the show.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. It's so much more.
It was such a good show, but what the hell did we say? We haven't even talked about the tag team tournament.
The tag team tournament.
You know what else we didn't talk about? This is exactly my point. The fucking Bullet Club showed up on the show, and we haven't even kind of thought of mentioning it.
We haven't talked about them. We haven't talked about the Bray Wyatt babyface turn, which is in full effect.
Holman Haynes.
And
Fuego.
The League of Nations. They're
the lawn.
Oh, I almost got that out without laughing.
Rusev's thigh game. On point. I like his thighs. He wore he's not wearing the shorts anymore.
Right.
I don't know what emboldened him to make that decision. I'm a fan of it.
Lana, probably.
Maybe. She wasn't on this show.
No. Well, were there any women other than
no women on this show? They did the big to-do about the women's title, and then no one got any time. Yeah.
All right. So you want to talk about the Bullet Club?
I guess. I mean, who even it's like I said, who gives a shit? They're gonna show up. They're gonna be bald, tall dudes with a goatee, which is exactly what they are. They made an attack, and then they left. Someone was like, "This feels like the Outsiders to me. This is like Hall and Nash. Like, it's literally nothing like that. There's not a single thing about this that is like that." First of all, Hall showed up through the crowd.
They're tall.
They're tall, yeah. Hall showed up through the crowd. Thing. I mean, okay. Hall showed up through the crowd. He interrupted a match between two idiots. Alex Wright, I think, was one of them. They just left. They literally just walked away. We're like, all right, I guess the match is over. And Hall cut a promo. Nash didn't even show up for 3 weeks. He's like, oh, dude, this feels like that. How? How does it feel like that? They didn't cut a promo. They just showed up and beat up the Usos. Here's another thing we all need to stop doing. Were they going to align with Styles now? Where's Finn Balor? You're thinking of this in terms of the Bullet Club, and we really need to stop because it's entirely possible they're just a tag team.
But what I don't.
The next segment was AJ Styles, and he didn't act any different than he normally does. It's like he didn't know.
The problem is if you let whether or not that happens affect your enjoyment of it. But I don't think there's no harm in speculating. I mean, WWE is capitalizing on that. That's why Michael Cole was saying Bullet Club a lot.
Yeah, everyone's like, it's worth noting. Every WWE contracted talent who talked about him hashtagged the Bullet Club. Yeah, because it's a hashtag that gets over.
Well, but there's still
anything.
No, but it's
right,
exactly. But it is designed to make you speculate on. I mean, I'd like to say, I don't have any problem with that. I just if it turns out they're just a tag team a month later, you can't say, "Oh, fuck them for not making them the Bullet Club."
Yeah, or the Balor Club.
You can wait and see. I mean, you can say this story where they're just a tag team is horrible, but I don't think you should judge them by what they didn't do.
People were like, so they're definitely going to help Styles against Reigns at Payback, right? And I'm like, how did you get to that conclusion? Well, that's why else would they jump the Usos? I'm like, okay, what?
Like, you need a reason to jump the Usos. Come on.
Exactly.
If I could get away with it, I'd jump the Usos.
Let me see Jim and Jay on the street.
Even the cute one? You jump him too?
Well, he's pretty cute.
See, I know you think one of them.
Married, though. I don't mess with married men. I don't mess with married men.
You mess with me.
I was hoping that would be everyone would get that without either of us needing to say it.
Well, sorry. I have no faith in our audience. Sorry, audience.
You're all idiots. No, but they just won the tag team tournament match. Maybe they want to take their spot, win the tag titles.
And the only reason they won the tag tournament match is because of a spontaneous bow train.
This is true. This is true. That's a real sentence you just said out loud. That is a real sentence you said, and it actually occurred.
Social Outcasts could be tag team champions if it were not for their spontaneous bow train problem. Sad.
They call it a bow train. Oh my God.
Curtis Axel took a bunch of children on a bow train. I don't know if you saw that.
I just need a backstage meeting between the group, and they're talking to Bo, and they're like, look, we could be really successful. We got to talk about this bow train thing. Well, you guys don't have to follow along.
That's true.
You can't ask me to not follow a bow train. You just can't do it, because if there's a bow train, I'm getting on the bow train. That's just what it is, everybody. So we need you to not do the bow train.
Don't start the bow train.
Don't start it.
Keep the engine in the station.
I will ride that motherfucker till the wheels fall off. It's like,
oh shit,
man. So yeah, they debuted and they beat people up, and then they left through the crowd. And I don't know if I suppose it's possible. Again, anything's possible, but this is WWE we're talking about, so it is also entirely possible they have no association whatsoever with literally anyone associated with the Bullet Club outside of WWE, i.e., Balor, Styles. They're just beating people up till Balor shows up later. I don't know.
It could be. I liked that. I liked Carl Anderson's trash talk about how this is a nice place you have here and all this stuff he was saying when they left.
True.
Yeah, I can't ever. I can't. For something about seeing Doc Gallows in a WWE ring, I just go Festus, and I can't leave now. That's a problem.
Told you.
I know. So I blame you, actually. So there's that.
As soon as he was there, don't ring the fucking bell.
Oh, damn it.
No one actually ring it. Jim Uso might still be alive today.
That's true. Fuck. Well, why didn't Jay think of that?
About Carl Anderson is his Twitter name is Machine Gun KA, but every time I look at it, I just see Machine Gunka. So I'm just gonna start calling him that. Oh, it's Machine Gunka.
I think that would get over.
I'll tell you what. You know what's gonna get over? The flower enthusiasts.
Oh, Jesus. Well, this is what I was gonna say before we totally get into Carlito's reincarnation. I don't know. I could see them doing the AJ Styles thing. At this point, I don't think they're doing the Balor thing. If they are, it's a weird fucking way to get there, but maybe. Because I think, God, they need heels, especially since they just turned Bray babyface, and AJ plays a good heel. So it's one of the things I was thinking during the great Sammy AJ match is, boy, this would be fun if AJ was his douchebag character. It was fun anyway. I'm not knocking the match. I just think that would put it over to the next level. So I don't know. They may do that. I'd be fine with it. But they're fucking building a tag team division. What the hell's going on here? I mean, that's what. Gallows, Gunn and Gallows, the Puerto Rican Tourist Bureau. I don't know what the fuck is their gimmick. I don't know. They're selling Puerto Rico to you. Enzo and Cass, Vaudevillains. I guess the United States Championship doesn't matter anymore because Kalisto is just tag team jobber again. There's more. I mean, who else am I forgetting? I mean, Social Outcasts look competitive until
man.
That's Vaudevillains. Bow Train.
I don't listen to you.
I know you don't. Who else? There's somebody else though, isn't there? Oh, Awesome Truth, I guess, is going to be a thing finally, or whatever it's called. Yeah. Golden Truth, Golden Showers. So there's a tag division.
Yeah, there's a legit tag division now.
That's weird.
Yeah, and then
my name is Gino Roscoe.
Yeah,
and I am. We need to get.
Smack Talker Skywalker. I don't watch Star Wars. So, I don't get the what are their names? Like, I don't know what we call them. I guess they're the flower enthusiasts, and it's just the weirdest thing to cut to them. And they're on a beach, and they're both like inhaling the scent of this flower. What's the idea that this smells really good?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we could win the tag team titles right now. I really do.
I
we should try it.
I hope nobody remembers we were matadors.
Yeah, and then, and then everyone's in a rush to be like, who? They look cool. Get it?
Ah!
Spit in the face. Like, who's not cool? You. You're an idiot. We get it. There's a connection to Carlito. Wow. What a fucking thing.
But even the Carlito vignettes, they set up he did the "you're not cool" thing. I mean, you knew what was coming. I don't know what this is. They're gonna come and judge flower shows in each venue. I don't understand.
I feel like they're wanting to get. I think they're trying to entice the New Day to book a flight to Puerto Rico, in the hopes that if they show up, they will then challenge them for the tag team titles.
Wow, that would be cool.
Wouldn't it? It'd be new and different, at least.
Although I'd be worried because sometimes guys die in Puerto Rican locker rooms and stuff.
I think it'd be even better if we checked in on them in like 6 weeks and they're like, why haven't they booked their flight yet? What can we do? What can we do to get the New Day to come here?
Maybe they should go. They should do the full Jeff Jarrett thing and set up a timeshare scheme to try to get the New Day to sign up for it.
A timeshare. Like, can we talk to you a little bit about this? It's a great deal.
Join Team Cologne and buy into our. Oh shit!
Fucking Jeff Jarrett, you con man.
Jesus, my God. That's just fucking embarrassing.
I can't believe it. It's a pyramid scheme.
Yep.
Holy shit. So yeah, there's a tag division.
There's a tag division. The point of all that is there's a tag division.
There's a tag division with a lot of varying gimmicks. It's fun. There's a lot of different flavor. I mean, the Ascension's even still around somehow.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about them.
Fucking Lucha Dragons and, yeah, all of them. Yeah, there's a bunch of teams. So cool. And then what's funny...
How you doing?
What's funny is they're building the tag division, all these new teams, all this good stuff going on. And what did Shane book for the main event?
Mm-hmm.
Tag match with two guys who aren't actually tag team wrestlers. How fucking funny is that?
Well, that's a throwback to the old days. I don't know.
The Teddy Long days of 4 years ago? What are you talking about?
Tag team.
If you took a long nap, you missed out.
He can't make anybody go one-on-one with the Undertaker, so he's gonna have a tag match player.
How do you do that? That was so funny, like Jim Rome. Like, he didn't play, it's player. How player is that? That's so player. That is very player.
That was a good Romy.
Phenomenal. Arugula. It's a very player show. I'm going to do the rest of the show like this. Let's talk about wrestling.
Come on, clones.
Colognes. Flowers. I like to sniff them. They might smell good. Bet they do. God damn it. Roman Reigns. He's great. What a good Superman punch. It's a very good Superman punch. Just got a text.
Is your phone blowing up? We're done. That's a loud wheeze this week. Bringing it.
What a great laugh that was.
Phenomenal.
Great laugh. I'm crying right now. Okay, let's talk about the show.
All right.
Oh, man.
I'm trying to be quiet. My strategy when you go full wheeze is I just try to stop talking.
You just stop. I need you to continue on. That's what it keeps me.
But then I risk starting you up again. I don't know what It's a lot of pressure to have to walk that tightrope.
I risk starting you up again.
They do. It's terrible.
That was a great response to that.
Why is the Jim Rome impersonation the greatest thing I've ever
I don't
heard?
know why it's so funny, but it really is. Oh, man. What else is there to talk about?
From one Rome to another. You want to talk about Roman Reigns?
Sure.
He's not a bad guy.
He's pretty great. He's not a bad guy.
He's not a good guy.
He's not a bad guy. Not a good guy. He is Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Oh,
great
dear
joke.
God.
What a great joke that was. I laughed a lot. Sean is still laughing.
This will be our lowest viewed episode.
It was a decent show, and then fucking they started doing Jim Rome.
Which half the audience probably doesn't even know who the fuck he is.
Yeah, like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, why is he talking like that?
The other half probably hates him.
Oh man, Jim Rome is like he's just the weirdest guy who like talks. So he doesn't like transition words, so he just like stops speaking to avoid saying shit like and it causes like 6-second pauses in his radio broadcasts. And Frank Caliendo did a great job making fun of him. I'm actually impersonating Caliendo's impersonation of him.
Whoa, that's layers.
Inception.
The only thing I always remember him as is, and this is how old I am, is when Jim Everett tried to kill him on television one time.
That's now you call me that. I bet you don't call me that again. Bet you I do.
Chris.
And then the dude gets up and rushes him and then tries to keep him from falling.
And then they like put up the emergency broadcast symbol on ESPN. It was great. Yep,
it was great.
Great television.
It was a great broadcast. Not to pause for no reason.
What are we going to talk about? Anything else, or is this almost done?
I think that's it. My front door just opened for no reason.
Ooh, you should get Chris Jericho there to.
Could be a ghost.
Doesn't he do ghost hunter shit?
Could be a ghost. Might be the Exorcist. I'm afraid right now. That's the other thing. He just says shit that and he doesn't alter his cadence. It's like the inflection doesn't match the words he's saying. So he sounds like a robot, but it's just funny for whatever reason. I don't think there was anything else on the show to talk about. Reigns is still great. Really like the character that he's playing right now. I think it works really well for him.
So what do you think about Bray?
Yeah, he's babyface, and I like that they kept because I actually have been a proponent of Roman and Bray doing their thing for as long as possible. They should be career rivals. So that was cool, but I also didn't. I guess I didn't understand why they put them together like this, and they seem to be teasing something. I guess maybe they're going to go with that. You think for SummerSlam? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I thought I had it in my head that we were going to get Cena Reigns at SummerSlam, but they teased that right after Mania, and then they haven't done anything with it. Probably because
something's going on there.
They're not sure when Cena's going to be back.
Something's going on there because he's very openly talking about thinking he should be back.
Yeah,
and they're very obviously not bringing him back. And something's there.
The only thing I think they might be legitimately unhappy with the fact that his reality show is going head to head with SmackDown.
You think so?
I don't know. That's the only thing that I can put together. I don't know what else it could be. I mean, I think, unfortunately, I'm excited to see the guy back, which is just weird, but it does help the product to not have him there, to let Roman get his feet under him, and if this is a new direction, let it happen without having him or Triple H or Steph around. But yeah, I agree. It's weird. There's something rotten in Denmark or Stamford, Connecticut.
Denmark?
That's from Hamlet. I'm not going to go into this with you, man.
What the fuck was that about?
I'm
not going into this with you.
I'm not explaining Shakespeare to you after
I'm not going into Hamlet. I know Hamlet. I know.
Hamlet, he's a good dude. I like him.
Yeah.
We pounded.
What's more unto the breach, dear friends? How you doing?
How you doing? Oh shit.
Doth hath ring. How you doing? Knots had all spent.
God damn it! Now I want to see Enzo do Shakespeare sonnets.
Yeah, just read it. Their theme's trash.
It's just for the Italian intro, the whatever that is.
Yeah, and then he starts like talk rapping the lyrics, and I don't even know what he's saying.
He sings his own lyrics. I don't think Sasha does, but Enzo does.
Yeah, Celia Bloom did the entrance theme thing with me. We were figuring out the themes that we like. And we'll make the post and see how it does. It got over huge, so there's going to be more of them. I think she's going to do a follow up best entrances, but yeah, she's like Sasha does her own theme. I'm like, no, she doesn't. It's like it was totally on an episode of Total Divas. They talked about that. Like the Bellas were like, we're going to do our own theme. We're going to sing it. Other people have done that. Sasha did that. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not the case, but maybe. And then I Googled it, and
to the ream.
I Googled it, and it seemed that I seemed to confirm based on like threads, I guess. I guess Bailey said it on a Periscope even. But I couldn't find anything official.
Right.
By the way, your lyrics are wrong.
My lyrics?
Lyrics you post on Twitter, your Mark lyric shit that you do. Had a dream I hadn't made it. It's not the lyric.
I don't care.
It's like had a dream. I don't know what it is.
I will behind the scenes look at the life of a person with 900 Twitter followers, which isn't that exciting. I just have it bookmarked somewhere I Googled it, sky's the limit lyrics. I bookmarked that, and when she's about to come on, I pull that link up. So if that link is wrong, then I'm wrong. I don't know.
It's on there's a WWE Music YouTube channel, and that theme is on there, and the lyrics are in the description, and they're different than the lyrics that you post.
Well, like I said, I don't care. I'm pretty sure she doesn't sing it though, so that's all. That was my point.
That's what I said. I was like, I don't. Even if she does or if she doesn't, it doesn't really make a difference. But it's still a great theme. We put it at number 1.
Yeah, I disagree with that list all over the place, but that's okay.
Do you really? That's the great thing about him is that you get people talking. You get people so riled up. They're like, Chris Jericho on the worst list? I'm signing up right now. I can't let this stand. I will tell these fuckers how wrong they are.
This aggression cannot stand.
This aggression
will not stand. Must be drawn here. Exactly. Yeah, I like Jericho's. I was shocked you didn't have Owens on there at all.
It was tough because what we did was we put so you do here's the themes that are great. We went through the whole roster. Here's the themes that are great. Here's the themes that are bad that we think belong on each list, and then we'll try to knock it down. So we'll do 10 on both sides. And the themes that we put on the best were like 25.
Yeah.
But we wanted to make it 10 and 10, and the worst we only had like 13. So we just knocked it down to 10 and 10. Right. Getting to that point was really tough.
Yep.
I fought hard to keep Emma in though. So, I wouldn't say Sasha is one. If it's just me, I'd probably put Shinsuke there, but it's, her argument was good. And all right, we'll do that. And then plus some of them too, it's like that's why I put the teaser at the end. Some of them are great as far as their entrance. So like Bailey, her theme on its own, maybe not, but combine it with her entrance and it'll probably be on that list.
Right.
So you put them all together, whatever like that. But yeah, it's a great, and fuck, I couldn't believe how many hits it got. Like it was right up there for like 3 days. Still up there.
There's a reason why Bleacher Report does top 10 everything all the time.
Which we're not going to do that, but we'll definitely get into doing. It's slow. Well,
my thing is just as a internet consumer, I love lists too. I just don't want to have to click through 10 fucking pages for them. So as long as you make the list that's all on, I click once and I get the whole list, then I feel like I got my money's worth.
There you go. Well, that's what you'll get with us.
Because I don't like to do them because I get all I don't like to be wrong. what? So I take.
You can't be wrong on a subjective list.
But I like
talked about this on this show. You want the majority opinion. You want to be above scrutiny. You want to be a god.
Scrutiny. No, I thought you said
scrutiny, not scrutiny.
I thought you said I don't know what.
Scrutiny.
Scrutiny is what I thought.
Look, we need a moment of levity right now.
We do need a moment of levity. Nice, you nailed it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I tried to fuck it up and got it right on accident.
Well, that's what you should do in the future. Is try to say the wrong word.
But I got it right. Nailed it. Pretty good.
What else? Are we missing anything major that Cesaro and Miz?
Cesaro. Oh shit, Cesaro's James Bond.
Well, I mean, I have to say I was more sports entertained by Miz and Maurice last night. Well, I mean, no, the match was great. Cesaro and Owens match was phenomenal. But talk about, you mentioned, Jericho being somebody you want to see have pain inflicted on.
Oh my god!
I want Miz and Maurice to be possibly murdered in an alleyway. I don't know.
Talk about a match made in heaven. Mary C is the goddamn devil. And
her fucking accent is the best part about it because it's
yeah, it's a really great accent. Like that's wonderful. It's so unfortunate that it's attached to such an unpleasant woman. My God, I want to see Brock Lesnar F5 her into oblivion. Like, gee, good Lord, this woman is unbearable. And then you look over and there's Miz with fucking cucumbers on his eyes. He doesn't drink domestic water.
Yeah. What did
someone kill these two post haste?
Yes. This is my
Cesaro
husband.
walks in. Yeah. Cesaro walks in wearing sunglasses in a dark room.
Why is he like on? Is he
trying to be?
I am so in the bag for that dude. It's ridiculous. I don't know. Like, is he doubling as Shane's personal security when he's not wrestling? Because he had the whole earpiece thing in too.
Yeah,
like a fucking Secret Service guy
with the suit that he had ripped off not long ago, and he like put it back. I'd like to think he just stood there and held his body out, and it just went back onto him.
I want to see him actually Velcroing it back together. That's what I was saying. Hold on. I know. Give me a second here.
I want to see Shane McMahon in public. I'm entirely certain I'll see Cesaro not far away with his arms crossed.
Exactly.
Dressed exactly like that.
Yep.
Doing one of the holding to his ear. What was that? We got 6. Check our 6.
Delta 6, 7.
Yeah.
Who's on your 12?
India Echo Lima Seth Rollins. I don't know who he's trying to be. But it's fun, I guess. Yeah. I hope, it is my sincere hope that he swings Miz and also Mary C at the same time. Grabs them both by the ankles and swings them around. Same time. I think he could pull this off. He's strong.
Oh, I'm sure he could, but WWE isn't going to give you any
because what would happen
intergender action other than Roman spearing the boss.
I was going to say, what are you talking about? How's that? True. That's not worse than Roman.
But that was accident. But they can play that off as an accident.
No, Stephanie went to bat for that. She said, "Look, I'm passionate about him spearing me in the middle. I need him to headbutt my stomach." Did you
see? I changed the channel art on the YouTube.
I did see it, and it was very distracting for me. I did Greeny's show on the other day for
MLW. Big time. Yeah,
MLW. Yeah, and we talked about that. But we talked about you, dude, how your whole world collapsed around you because Mad Max met Stephanie, and I told him all about the picture. It's the greatest picture in the history of time.
He didn't know about the picture.
He didn't know about the picture.
Wow.
And then Triple H.
I'm happy to bring that to Green.
I think Triple H is still somewhere with his ass in the air.
We haven't really seen him since, have we?
We haven't seen him at all. It's great. Oh, man. What a great show.
That was fun.
What a great show. A lot of fun. What a great show this was.
You want to talk about it? I know. I see. We talked about it ahead of time. Man,
I asked you if you had a way out. And you're
like, I got to not wear a hat because then it makes my headphones look like I'm wearing a fucking bucket over my neck. Bucket.
The Pittsburgh Pirates.
Old bucket neck. Oh, I don't know if anybody
stained
saw
shirt.
my stained brand new shirt that I bought myself.
Where'd the fucking stain go? What are you, Wolverine?
Magic.
Don't ever give me that look again. I'm gonna fucking have nightmares tonight.
It's magic. You want to talk about New Japan?